Hi everybody.
Hi. How are you? Kay here.
I'm fine. Thanks.
I'm good as well. Do you know that your glasses are skewy?
It's because I keep sitting on them. It's better.
What t-shirt have you got on today then?
Guerrilla warfare.
He's holding a plant.
That
I
really
like it.
hurts.
I like it. What hurts?
Right, what are you doing?
So Duke's just been to the hairdressers and he looks beautiful and smells really nice. Don't you, Dukey? Don't you, Dukey? Are you going to come and say hello? Come on then. Yay, there he is. Looking absolutely beautiful. We've had a lovely weekend teaching an embroidered bag, which was superb. Loved that. That was really good fun. Weekend went so fast there. I just couldn't believe it. When you're slow stitching, how could that happen? But it was really, really good. What else has happened this week? Dukey now wants a treat.
Don't know, that was it really.
Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
So, what we're going to do today. So, I thought I'd have a play with Annalise's new stamps, which are gorgeous. And I'm going to use some Slap It On and some texture paste and a lovely stencil called Baroque Book Cover, which was specially made for one of our dirty weekends. Well, quite a lot of our dirty weekends, in fact. So that's what we're going to do today. And what special offers have we got?
Up above.
The wheel's so high.
There we
go.
So there's an offer on True Grit, and if you like, comment and share, you could win an A5 stamp set of your choice. Excuse me, 4 to be won. And the code for the True Grit is GRIT20 in checkout.
So you know what to do. Like, comment and share. The more the merrier. That would be great. Thank you. And thank you very much for watching and supporting us already. That's brilliant. Sorry, it's just that I've got Duke down here wanting lots and lots of cuddles and attention. And it's just like a furry teddy bear, aren't you? Okay, so you can give him a treat when I move over. Shall I get started then?
Let's.
I'll get started. I don't. Boy.
Here.
So, as I showed you last week, these are our new Annalise stamps. Let's start with this one. These are just absolutely gorgeous. This is I Bring You Flowers, and she's a brand new artist, and it's lovely to have her in our stable of designers, which is just brilliant. I just love the way she illustrates, and it's lovely to collaborate with her. It really is. It's a joy to work with her. And even just these little stamps like these are just absolutely delightful. They're just beautiful. I've put some words to complement them. Just so that you know, this font here is the wrong font that's actually on the stamps on the back. Okay, and as you can see, they are all red rubber stamps, as usual, from our humble little place in Retford, made by hand and cut out by hand. And then we have Save the World. I love this. I'm going to be using this today, and I'm going to be using this stamp, which I think is just delightful. But it's just, they're all so good. They really are all so good. So those are Annalise's, and then I've done a new sheet of stamps, because the Mindfulness range 1, 2 and 3 have been extremely popular, and it was ages since I brought out another one, so here we go. I've got some sunflowers to complement Annalise's work here, and I've also used this stamp as well, and I've just reversed it so that you get a lefty and a righty. I've hand drawn some paintbrushes. Do you want some water, Alfie? Go and get some water.
That's right.
and we've got some lovely words on here. So I'm going to be using this. I'm going to be using each day holds the possibility of a miracle. So that is what I'm using today. So I'm going to start with some of our watercolour card and our True Grit. This is a really lovely texture paste. So it's actually a really good ground as well, and almost like a gesso, so it gives it a really good tooth. But before I do that, I'm going to put some papers on here with my Slap-it-on. So I've got some book pages, and I'm going to use the matte Slap-it-on. Just wipe my brush. So there we go. So I'm just going to cover the whole of this with plenty of Slap-it-on. Let's put that over in the corner there for later. And then I'm just going to cover all of this. So the best way of doing it is putting some on the base and then actually on the paper as well, which I forgot, and then covering it over again. And then this acts as a varnish as well, so it gives you a protection for this layer. And I've also got some bits of music. These can go on as well. If you want to stop your paper from bowing like this, just wet the other side of it. But I haven't actually got my my water spray handy. It's still packed up and in the box, so forgive me. There we go. So why do I do this? I like it as a background. I think it makes it look really interesting, gives it that sort of vintagey style look to it, but also I knock it back, i.e. I make it not quite as obvious by covering it with gesso. And I should actually do what I say, which is keep the Slap-it-on upside down so it's always ready to go. There we go. So we've got loads of Slap-it-on over that. That's nicely done. And then I'm going to come in with my texture paste. And I know it's wet, but that's fine. And this is a lovely 8x5, I believe it is. So you can tape it down, but I'm just going to go for it basically. And I'm not covering the whole thing. I want to show some of that underneath as well. Now, I know what I'm going to do because I need to clean my stencil, so I need another piece of card handy at the ready. So, ooh, look at that beauty. That's gorgeous. So I'm just going to clean my stencil on here. Put that in water. And just use a rag. Oh, that's nice. So that's going to act as a little bit of a resist, so that I can use in my journal later. And you just need to spray this with water or dump it into a bowl of water. In fact, Alfie, could you just run in and shove that in the sink for me? Thank you. I forgot to bring a bowl out. Okay, so what you can do with this, you can force dry it, and before the noise comes on, you can actually, I wait for about 10 minutes until it gets a bit of a skin on, and then I heat it because the water retained in it will actually bubble and boil and make it all textured and puffy. So I'll just show you a little bit. So this is puffing up, but because I haven't left it for 10 minutes to get a skin on, it's actually going to fall back down. So what I've done is I prepared one about half an hour ago, just so that you can see all this lovely texture. And what you can do is just do some scribbles in the background as well. No, it's illegible, but it just adds, again, a bit more interest to your project. So I really like that, but I want to knock it back, and so it's not quite as in your face. So I'm just going to use the same brush, and I'm using some of our gesso, our famous gesso. This is so popular. I think it's a lot of people's gesso of choice. Thanks very much for your comments. Yeah, it's a really lovely stencil, and we're using it in all the Dirty Weekends this year. So I've got a wet brush here because I don't want the...
Did you say what it was called?
Yes, Baroque book cover.
Yeah.
Is the stencil. I've used a wet brush because I don't want the gesso to completely obliterate all of that background. I want that to shine through so that you do get a little bit of texture, and then what you can do is you can add a little bit more in odd areas just to white it out a little bit, but I quite like it shining through quite nicely. Hi Iris, lovely to see you watching. Gosh, there's lots of you here. Thanks very much for tuning in, everyone. So this is as far as I'd planned it, almost. I've sort of got an idea of where I want to go, because I was going to do, let me tell you about my thoughts, okay? Very jumbled, very messy in my brain. So I wanted to use this, and I wanted it to sort of almost sit on its own, and it's really, really simple. So in order to do that, I thought make the background really interesting, really full of texture, and with hints of colour, so you don't want to take away from what we've got going on here. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to do some layering of paint. Okay, so let me get some water in this paint because our paints are really concentrated, and this is a matte paint from our matte range, and this is called Porcelain, which is a lovely skin tone, but it's also a warm creamy colour, and it just gives you a really nice hint of warmth. So it's not exactly pink, but, and as I say, I've watered it down, and I'm using a big brush with plenty of water in it. Okay, so I think we could do with maybe a little bit of warm tan, which is again a sort of skin tone, and let's just water that down and mix that in with the porcelain, just to give us a little bit of a vintage look to that. See, that warm tan works so well, and you can buy these in a set called Skin Tones. That, yeah, I like that. That's giving the right sort of feel, I think, to it. And I'm just using my brush quite on a crisscross way so that it's not all going in the same direction. Okay, that's quite good. And I want sort of not even, I want it a little bit patchy, so you can see that I've got some white shining through a little bit of that porcelain, and then coming in with some of that on the top. So I'm going to give that a bit of a blast. I know that is incredibly hot, so any particles, it just makes them burn off. So I really like that. That's going all right, but we're not there yet. I think we need to really show off some of this texture here. So I'm just cleaning my brush off, and I'm thinking I need something over the top just to emphasize that. So I might just do a bit of stamping.
Jay Shree's just asked, is that done on book page?
It's done on a piece of our indigo blue watercolour card, and then I've actually put the book page on. So if you start the video again, you'll see what I've done there. So one of Jayshree, I'm saying that you've designed some stamps there. So we've got some lovely little stamps here, and this looks quite yummy. So I'm going to use this one, which is the Sprig of Leaves, and I'm just going to use some of our new Thin Lizzies. These are fabulous because they are so thin and lightweight. They're really easy to use, and I like the fact that they're so ergonomic with how you can hold them. So let's see what happens with this. If I do too much and I don't like it, it's fine, because I can always go over the top of it. Now, the question is, do I go for black or do I go for something a bit more browny? Let's try that. And let's see, that's really dark, but that's nice. What a lovely stamp. That is just beautiful, isn't it? So I'm going to just stamp a little bit round the outside, and I've still not gone back in to get any more ink, so it's fading really nicely. I don't think I want it going all the way around, do I? Do I? Yes, no. I think just, see, the trouble is I can go too far with it, because I don't know what's wrong with me, but I find it difficult to have any white space at all. It's just one of those things that I find really quite a challenge, because I think I'm going to give it loads of white space and then I just cover the whole surface. So I'm going to leave it like that for the time being, and now I want to sort of give it a little bit more texture, or to show up that texture. So let me show you where we're going with this. This is going to go in the middle here. I have got more stuff to go on to do, but let me just get some texture in. So maybe we have a slightly darker brown. So we've got this leather corset, but that's a translucence. That might be a little bit too deep. Hot cocoa is a lovely red based brown. So if I just take a flat brush and dip it in ever so slightly, there's virtually nothing on there, and take off the majority. Let's see whether I can get a little bit of texture going. So I'm holding it horizontally and I'm just going over the surface. It's really, really dry. You can probably hear that. And you can see that there's virtually no paint on this brush, but it is just touching those surfaces. So it's really, really dry. And I haven't added any water to the paint because I don't want it to be watery. Otherwise it's just going to cover everything. So that's nice. That's sort of, it's almost like a bit of an intaglio, isn't it? Like a plaster. Bit of plaster on a building or something. So that, I think that's working for me. I think that's all right. I think that's probably enough, she says, putting more paint on. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's sort of like, yeah, is it called intaglio? So that's working for me, like that. So let me just live with that for a minute. So whilst that's sort of sitting in my head, wondering what I'm going to do with it, I'll just get a couple of stamps out. So this is that lovely hand stamp, and this is from Save the World. So let's move my thing there. And I'm just going to stamp that with a VersaFine Black, my favourite ink pad of choice. There we go. Isn't that lovely? Look at that. It's just, even that lovely little branch of leaves there is just beautiful. So if you cover that with some super fine embossing glaze and heat set it, this is what you get. Okay, so it's made the black glossy. So I'm going to use the same colour that I used for the background, because that seems logical. So I'm just going to dip my brush in water and see whether there's any, yeah, there's loads of paint left on there. So I'm just going to paint that little bit of dirt. There we go. And so we obviously need the seedling to be a lovely, luscious green, don't we?
Did you say Happy Independence Day?
I didn't.
Oh dear.
Happy Independence Day, everybody. I hope you're having a lovely day off, which is a rare thing these days, isn't it? So I hope you're having plenty of sunshine where you are, and you're having a bit of a barbecue and a bit of a celebration. So I'm going to go for Run Forest Run. So again, just the teeniest bit on my mat. It's not even a grain of rice, because I'm only just colouring this tiny bit in. Yeah, I had Hazel from the States on, of course, yesterday, and I should have said that when I left her. Happy Independence Day for today. So you can see, so it just stands out. And I was going to originally, I thought maybe I'll colour that in with the skin tone, but if I do that, it's going to disappear in the background, isn't it? I think. So let's just not do that. Okay, so we've got all these bits around the edge, and normally I would cut them off, but I don't know, I quite like those. So this is going to go in the middle here. So what I want to do is I want to give it a base to sit on. I think maybe, what do you reckon? That in right in the middle?
Yeah.
Okay, so
in the middle.
what I'm going to do is get my Stabilo Oil pencil. Now, I don't know whether I think we're out of stock of these at the moment, but we will get some more in. They're not terribly expensive, but they are just fantastic to use. So I'm just going to come across here and across there, just to give that something to really sit on. And then the lovely thing about this is that when you wet it, it's a watercolour. But the reason why so many artists like it is that if you look at this, paper, glass, plastic, metal, it seems to go on all surfaces. So even this painted surface, it's really happy to go on. So I'm just wetting that, and I'm just going to bring that down.
Lisa's wedding anniversary today.
Oh, congratulations!
Not American, but she says her husband should never forget.
That's right. Hopefully you'll be having a lovely celebration this evening, and I hope he's got you something that sparkles, and I don't mean glitter.
13 years. What's 13 years?
I don't know. You'll have to have a look. I think any anniversary is definitely a diamond anniversary. Diamond present anniversary is what I mean.
Lace.
Lace. Well, that's appropriate because I'm using lace on this. So see how it pulls out beautifully? It's just really lovely. And it's really great to use. Okay, I'm going a bit mad now. Yeah, so that's going to sit round about there. Okay. So let me just put this together and see where we are with it. First of all, this is too white to go on there, so I need to just soften it. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's Daisy and Duke doing their job. I do apologise. So this is a little bit of that hot cocoa that I've been using, and lots of water on there because I don't want to completely mask it. I just want to take it down a little bit, as though you've tea dyed it. I beg your pardon, Duke. Did he just burp then?
No, he's just licking his chops.
Oh, he's licking him. Oh, okay. Sounds really funny. So yeah, I've got some, so it's a bit like a tea stain. So that's the hot cocoa matte paint that I've just been using on everything. Okay, so that's that. Let's bring that back in and move this recycled paper.
Caroline says Alan is the same when pigeons are on the fence.
Is he? Yeah, Daisy thinks she can catch birds. She hasn't learned yet that she can't. And when we go on holiday up to Northumberland, our favourite place, on the beach, you can let them off for miles. It's just brilliant. She thinks that, you know, the birds are flying around just for her entertainment, and she literally can go flying off down the beach for about half a mile, can't she?
Mm-hmm.
Disappear off. And then she will come back when the birds have stopped teasing her. So what I've got is I've got a couple of pieces of lace, and I've just got sunshine written on here. So again, I'm just going to deaden that down a little bit, just so that it's not quite as bright white. And let's see where we're going with this. So I'm going to get my grab and go out. Don't know if there's any in here. I'm just going to put a little bit of grab and go on here.
And somebody had a question about putting grab and go in a smaller bottle and it getting blocked. How would you unblock it?
Well, the bottle that I've put it in, it doesn't seem to get blocked up. But if there's, you know, glue around the outside, just pull that off.
Well,
on the inside?
Yeah, it's blocked. It's not coming out.
On a different bottle?
I don't know.
Okay, so I would just take the top off and
just poke through.
Poke it through with a long pin.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Mm-hmm.
Are we getting close? I think that is nice because it now tones in with the background. It's not so bright white. And I'm just wondering whether I should tone the hand in a little tiny bit. No. Yes, no, Alfie? No. Leave it bright white so that we can see it. Okay. But I just think that's such a beautiful background. It really will just show off the meaning. And I'm just going to put those two leaves right in the centre of that Baroque book cover stencil. and just hold it for about 3 seconds, and then it's done. It's salted. I'm just going to leave it alone, because normally I would carry on working on it and doing more. I think I probably would put just a few splashes on though. Can I do that, Alfie?
Linda says the white's echoed in the lace, so it does.
Yeah, you're right, Linda. Thank you. Do you reckon I should put a few little splashes on?
No.
No. Oh no, no splashes allowed. Okay, I'll be really good and allow the space just to speak to you. I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, should we leave that as it is?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. That was a really quick demo. Has anyone got any questions before we close up for the day? Thank you very much for your lovely comments. That's so nice.
Sally says yes to splatters.
Do you, Sally? Does that mean I can do some splatters? Let me do just a little bit.
Go on then.
Just a little. Okay, should I do these brown ones then with a bit of hot cocoa?
Mm-hmm.
Now that I've put hot cocoa on, there we go. Yay, I can do a little bit of splattering. Just the same colour. And let me get my favourite spatter brush out, which is a fan brush. There we go. So I'll just get a piece of paper just to cover up some of these bits, because I don't want that white lace to be splattered. And I'll just cover up my little seedling. There we go. Oh, I haven't got my pinny on today. I better not make a bit of a mess on this. Okay, so just... I love it. Look, it's going everywhere, but actually on...
You can't really see it because of the background anyway. But yeah.
I can.
Okay.
I can see it. Yeah, that's fine. That's just a teeny little bit, and then I'm happy. Sally's happy. Let me take those off. By the way, say hello to Anna Grace today. Hope she's well.
Teresa says, can anyone else hear screaming?
Oh, I'm really sorry. You see, we live next door to, well, it used to be a big house, and then it was bought by this foundation, and they look after severely autistic adults. I wouldn't say we get used to it, but we just understand that it's not like screaming kids or people trying to annoy you. They obviously can't help it, and they're obviously in a terrible place when they do start getting upset. So yeah, it is a bit upsetting, and I'm sorry that you can hear it. But we've got all the windows and doors open, and yeah, they go out in the garden to try and calm them down a little bit. So I just feel sorry for them, that they have a life of pain and anguish. But and most of them have been together for about 30 years. So they then just moved in about 3 years ago, didn't they? Yeah. So I do apologise.
Teresa thought the dogs had got somebody.
I thought maybe the dogs had got a hold of Swan. I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh. I'm really sorry, that's really bad taste, isn't it?
Duke's lying down here looking guilty.
Yeah, poor thing, he's just lying there going, wasn't me, wasn't me. Oh dear. Right, any questions, Sally? You're a foster carer for autistic children. They do. Oh, well done. Thank you very much for your caring. Yeah, they're very, very well looked after next door. They are. And they've got a nice big garden, and they're not disturbed there. And right, so that's me. I'm going to leave that as it is, which is quite unusual for me. Something quite simple. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And we will see you next week, same time, same place. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but remember, you need to do all the things. Yeah? Do all the things. Thanks ever so much for watching. It's bye from me.
Bye.
Bye.